Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, E-Phone, thinking right out here in the lab. I do what I do for you, and I've been doing some good studying, so I got some good stuff for you coming up. Let's get it started. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission. That's what I'm on. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life, and that's what it is for me. Through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily will help and guide you to reach your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. You'll see. Trust me. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. They're simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not. Yeah, and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. That's what I do for you. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And always to my yacht, be true. Today, I'm back in my Shita letter, Egyptian mystery. This is all just information and it's all mental. Let's start with that. So right thing, let's talk about the more mystical, the more mystical importance of what? Of words, how to use them, what they do, and the importance of earning your spiritual name. You can call me Asar P-Phone. Let's go. All right. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Let's get this thing started. Now, let's consider the following. When you think, right think, of anything, you attach what? Words to the thoughts. They become reality, action. In fact, it is difficult for ordinary people, pay attention, ordinary people who have not undergone the mystical training, meaning they have not become enlightened, they have not had the glimpse of knowledge of self. So for them, it's going to be a little difficult, but with the training, that's my job, to do just that, and to think without words. Meditation, okay? Just give you a heads up, so I want to make it difficult for you. That's what that means. And watch this. When Asar wanted the truth from Ra, they didn't communicate in words. Telepathically, okay, mind to mind. You ever had a situation when you're thinking about somebody, at the moment you think about them, they think about you? And me and my mom have done this a few times. I've been used experience, okay? We picked the phone up, and on the other end, she was there. Freaked us out, but we've done it more than once, so yeah, it's a connection there. And they said, how could a mother feel her son, something happened to a son or daughter when they miles away? That's an instinctive, okay? That's what it really is, okay? Here you go. So therefore, words are the symbols that we as the human mind uses to what? To group thoughts, and which constitute, listen, intellectual forms of understanding. Right there, intellectual, okay? Understanding means you're relating to somebody relating to you, you understand, which constitute what? Constitutes forms of understanding. When two people communicating, the phrase is, you can't have an intellectual conversation or intelligent conversation with an ignorant person. I mean, they're not there. That's all it means. They just don't know. What you know, it's going to be hard to make your point, so that's the concept. But however, my word again, thoughts are conditioning instruments for communication But before that, this means that when you think, Ptah, who came into physical form from what? Uttering his word. Words of power, Heka. So we had all that figured out, and they trying to break it down for you. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. They was deep into the mind. They had full understanding. And watch this. So that when you think, you are what? When you right think, you are actually differentiating. What the hell is that? Making decisions at an instant. That what? The differentiation process. That's what it's called. Thinking, a differentiating process that allows what? The mind to now be conscious of what? Be conscious or aware of differences in what? In matter. They're going to use example. Okay, it labels these differences with what? Different names. There you go. We name everything. If you name it, you claim it. Okay, that's what it was back in the day. But we do that based on what? On the form or the function of whatever we gave name. They're going to use this one. I call this, I'm going to stop this right here. Why? They use example or chair, okay, which makes a lot of sense. But to me, this is the fluff. I didn't get past the fluff, but I got to give it to you. And the mind means to watch this. Or objects or relationship to it. Okay. The mind learns to call objects. When we see it, that's that. Babies, the first thing they say is what? Dada. Okay. For example, a chair. It's an abstract asset. It's matter. Just like a rock. But we know a chair, you sit on the rock. Not so much, but you could if you had to. But that's just an example. However, why? Your mind has done what? Differentiated between the chair and the rock. That's all. Just like you got to differentiate your discernment. You got to differentiate friend from foe. Okay? With animals, it's instinctive. Fight or flight. Do I stand? Do I go? That's all instinctive. You got to have that, and that's all mental. But the mind learns to call it with a particular. However, the mind has learned to call it a particular name. Why? Because it's associated with the name chair. Sit on it. With a particular kind of object which looks in a particular way. Again, it serves a particular function. That's all I mean by fluff. But here we go now. But when the mind goes beyond words, there we go. That's my area. Why? Because we're using this. And you ain't got to do a whole bunch of this. That's the difference. When the mind goes beyond words, you're in my neighborhood, it goes beyond thoughts. Right thoughts? Another lesson there, but right now let's talk about this. But I'm all about the mind. And when the mind goes beyond words, it goes beyond thoughts. And thereby what? Experiences what? Here we go. If you ever went into a meditative state, you experience undifferentiated consciousness. What does that mean? You become one with whatever's up there. You raise into it. You get into it. You start to know something different. That's what it is. And this is the deeper implication of what they call the opening of the mouth ceremony, which is after death. But it signifies what? Opening of what? The consciousness in your memory is what's going to die at death. If you don't pass scales of Maya to go on, it's your conscious and your memory which dies. Okay, you're going to die twice. The physical body do once, and if you fail, you're going to die twice. I keep giving that concept. That's where I got it from. That's how I understand it. So moving on. But it's all about you having memory of what? A different, undifferentiated state of existence. We go there in sleep. I can tell you that the third, level of deep sleep, that's where you go. And when you die, that's the state that you're going to be in, depending on how you live. That's the caveat. Okay, so now at your lower state, again, down here, your spiritual evolution, your consciousness appears to be what? Differentiated. Why? Because you label stuff, but you ain't really totally conscious, even though what? The underlying essence is the undifferentiated consciousness. Meaning, you only go there when the deep sleep. Why? Hello? You see what I'm going with this? However, when intuitional realization, or what they call spiritual enlightenment, nihas, Horus Hood, Christ Hood, whatever it is, conscious. That's being enlightened to what? Yourself. When it dawns in the human mind, that's where it starts. Not in the body, in the mind. Now you become conscious of something else is up here. Yeah, you ain't by yourself, but the ego loves it by himself. See where we go with that? Okay, that's why he will even destroy himself. God would never do that. Moving on. Words, now you're dealing with the words. Words are now no longer viewed as what? Differentiating instruments. Why? But they're merely as a practical instrument for what? For the spirit that's inside you to operate and to interact with the world through what? The human experience, personality, in time and space. We're spiritual beings. The spirit don't. Mm-mm. You get the concept? So you don't need words, but you do need to be able to think it. If you can conceive it, you can achieve it. That's the level of consciousness that you should be able to reach, and we all got the opportunity. That's the fair game. Our brain is the same. Everybody's brain size is the same. Moving on. It's how you use it that makes the difference. And everybody got a chance. That's what we mean by the level playing field. Moving on. Now, this is the difference between what a human being, pay attention, this is important, put your ears on. This is the difference between a human being who is spiritually enlightened, aka know themselves, from the way they live, how they learned their lessons, and how they implement them, so they know themselves. It's a difference between them and one who is what? Who is caught up in a state, you ready, of ignorance and egoism. I just did a lesson for you on that. Why? Because that's the two dangers, and you're going to die twice. Okay? The ego is going to die, and your what? Ignorance. You're not knowing what your consciousness is going to be taken away too. See what's going with that? That's the concept. I hope I made it clear. So if you thinking, you slick, you thinking wrong. So the vocal capacity. Oh, you swift lipping, eagle tripping, God, smooth, silver tongues. Watch this. The vocal capacity in human beings is intimately related to what? Your unconscious level of mind. Back in my day, I would always ask the girl, you believe in the hereafter? They say, yes, evident you know what I'm hereafter. Little jokey joke. But yeah, you had to be planning and plotting. What? Mind, that's how the mind works. It's solving. It's a solver. If you want something, it's going to help you solve it. The AI right now, just doing all the way for the kids in school. They made a bad decision with that one. Why? It's going to determine papers and write stuff and tell people stuff that y'all don't really want them to know. So that's Pandora box open with what? Knowledge and information. And they're going to use it, what? The wrong way. It's intended. That's why the road to hell is paved with what? Good intentions. We all have good intentions. But what are your actions? That's why God don't give a damn about your intentions. He judged the action. Moving on. Still excited. Calm down. All right, where we at now? I'm rolling. Now, the vocal capacity is certain levels of mind. And them slick guys, they got some good words for you. This is why those, watch this, who do not practice what? Introspection, self-checking, discernment, using your knowledge and understanding to decide if this guy full of crap or not. Women, y'all got to get a little bit better when that guy you lay down away and put that seed in you and create life. We ain't got no clue. We done went so far from that, but that's another lesson. But that's the whole idea. If you're thinking right, you won't make those bad decisions. Start with the younger generation. Sorry about that. But yeah, and for those who do not practice introspection, what they call that self-inspection, and gain self-control, aka mastery, will often what? Blur out things that do not wish to say. If you don't have control of what's coming out your mouth, that's what they're saying. My dude said, why you talk so fast? I said, because I'm thinking it. I want to just get it out as fast as I can think it. So sometimes I stutter. Why? Because the thoughts are going faster than my tongue. So I had to learn how to tell myself, slow down, calm down. So I'm still working on that. Okay. Self-mastery is a day-to-day project. Moving on. And later on, you regret what you said. I don't do that no more. If I say it, I mean it. Simple as that. Don't make a difference. If I say it, that's what I mean. So I don't say a whole bunch of stuff just because of anger. And no, don't get caught up in that. Okay, fellas? Hold your tongue. Why? She remember everything you said. They won't remember nothing. But if you say it, they remember it. Moving on. Little quick marriage counseling. For thus, watch this. Now, for this reason, the teachings, and it's important, enjoin that a spiritual aspect, you are the aspect, I'm the teacher. You should particularly You should practice your spiritual disciplines and your virtuous living for the inner recesses or inner research, which lead to what? Self-control, self-mastery through what? Right thinking and right action and righteous living. I teach that, I teach it, but more importantly, I live it. That's not the easy part. That's the hard part. Teaching it, I can say all I am. I can read it from the book and talk that good, but if you ain't living it, if you teaching it and preaching it and ain't living it, shut up. Sorry about that. I'm a little emotional with that. Cause I'm getting tired of seeing a whole bunch of nonsense, skinny, ignorance on display. And they so proud of that. They keep putting the microphone in their face and they do it every day. But information, age, we're there. All information is not good information. That's all I'm saying. As an information giver. Okay. Now, in this manner, what happened? One's speech becomes makadu. I speak from the heart. I don't care how you feel. That's makadu. I'm honest. I'm straightforward. Don't care. Don't make a difference to me. You want me to be honest? You ain't got to question me, or you got to tell me that. I'm gonna be honest on my own. That's my choice. Some of us can be deceptive when we choose to be. I just choose not to be for nothing. The highest truth. So understand this. Makadu becomes the highest truth that you can have within yourself. Again, that's why I don't care about what you think. When one speech becomes truth, I mean, you live it. Okay, you profess it. And one's consciousness is of truth. You're enlightened. You walk to a different tune, do things different, and people gonna notice that. But when one consciousness is truth, it is what? Now it is in harmony with what? The transcendental truth of what? The universe. You see me pointing up? That's what I'm getting. The universe, which is what? Which is symbolized by the ancient Egyptian goddess, my favorite. Bam! Maya. Get with the concept. Thus, what happened? Thus, becoming. If you practice and master Maya, you become a true of speech. Okay, is your primary objective to speak the truth. I'm here every day. I got to live in order to speak it. In order to know God, you got to become God. So I'm a true speaker. I live it so I can speak it. For every spiritual aspect who follows this concept, it's on you. Simple as that. That's the point. And it's synonymous with what? With coming into harmony with the universe, and thus refers to spiritual enlightenment itself. Christians, when they living right and they doing right, they know they being blessed. That's all they care about. They don't care about what, no. And I agree 100% because if my philosophy is pretty much the same, we go about it a little different, we'll say different, but it's the same thing. I know if I live right and do right, I should earn some blessings. That's why I live right daily. Why? I want my blessings daily. Okay, that's the concept. I'm about to take it home now. But the symbol of water recalls what? The image of what we consider the prime audio ocean of consciousness. We in water, okay? Before we're born, we're in the mother's stomach, we in water. Okay, thus, Ren. Remember that? Ren? The name, importance, the word, relates to what? Consciousness manifesting out of the ocean that has taken a form. Now it has been differentiated temporarily in the physical form again. We are spiritual beings having a human experience for the purpose of gaining that knowledge, knowing who he was. So when the physical body wear out, the spirit can go back. And through names, again, words and sounds itself. That's the human part about what we're doing here in the physical form. So let's talk right quickly about the importance of earning your spiritual name. How you earn spiritual? I'm glad you asked. Let's go. Now, the ancient Egyptian Assyrian mysticism or initiates, okay, were given a spiritual name. Masonic order, we do the same thing. Islam, y'all do the same thing. Y'all just disguise it when pick an attribute. My attribute says unique, so my name is Fareed. Ain't using the date since they gave it to me, but they said that, not me. I just, okay, well, that's what they call me. Well, we ain't been in communication, so ain't nobody call me that. Moving on. But I get the concept of the name. Again, I changed my name, P-Funk. That's my alter ego. That's me trying to tell you I'm pure real. So that's why I use the name. Got it? So let's go. That's the idea. Now, but can you get your spiritual name? That's what life is all about. Let's go. Hopefully you get the concept. Now, all initiates were given a spiritual name. Asar. The Greeks call him Osiris. I hate that, so I'm trying not to teach their nonsense. So it's Asar. Watch this. Regardless of if you are male or female. Your name is Betty. Asar Betty. Betty and P-Funk got together. They created Haru. Fathead Jr. My offspring. Okay, so you can symbolize and symbolize. You can make it any way you want, but you got to manifest it. Make it something, not just in your mind. So that's the concept. I can give anything I made to do that. So thus, watch this. Not in the proper rise of Ani. That's to show. He showed you his judgment. He walked in. He had black hair. He passed the judgment. He had white hair. Okay, he was glowing. Okay, he went into the next level. That's what we here for on earth. And Anu was what? A human man. Again, start out human. We here for a reason. And he was renamed Asar Ani. Why? Likewise, I got a lesson coming up with Nefertari, who was a queen, who was a woman, and also received the name of Asar Nefertari. Why? Because the same manner of the papyrus of the Per-Em Heru prepared for other initiates were not prepared for what? Man or woman, but for the spiritual aspirant. Again, it don't make a difference. Wow, that's why the name means something in the physical form. Spiritual form don't care. While Asar is what? Usually seen as the male divinity, his higher attributes will include those which relate him as what? Androgynous. Okay, that's why they put his son in that position. Transcendental spirit, and all spirits are that. So to make a difference, the term Ren relating to what? The aspect of that personality of the human being. Again, our parents named us what they think, but they feel was suitable. Okay, they named me after a damn DJ, so they wasn't philosophical or religious. So it didn't make a difference. All right, moving on. Mark Hyman. Okay, the term Ren. Okay, but they name. And a human being, therefore, it refers to what? The ego. My ego is Mark. Why? It's been there since that's all it knows. It don't give a damn about P-Funk. Could care less. It no Mark. Okay? So the differentiated was this. Mind and consciousness is not to your higher self, but the universal consciousness. So every human being has a divine name and an ego name. I called it my alter ego name, but they show you the name that you was given at birth might not be the one that you want to live under, so you have a right to change it. Okay, moving on. I just told you about the little lesson Nefertari. I'm going to wrap this up for you, but this is her. Let's try. Okay. Giving her offerings. Okay. Let's wrap this up right quick with just quick lesson. Oh, I got some good stuff for you. But I see the time. I'm going to get this out the way right quick. I just showed you a picture of Queen Nefertari as an initiate in Asar. The hieroglyphic description, it reads, Asar Nefertari, the great queen, beloved of the goddess Mut and Makaru, spiritually virtuous. Why? She raised her conscious level to speak the Makaru in her life, and in the presence of Asar, the great God. If you pass the scales of Maya, that's how you get there. And what a deeper implication of this is what? This is very important. Understand this. For mystical teachings related to the deeper self within Ani. Watch this. And Nefertari is who? Asar, the divine self. God. I told you he went from God, the fall from God from spirit to matter. He became spirit and he put it into matter. That's who Asar represents. That's the concept. And watch this. That is their true identity and not your birth name. Again. But the divinity which transcends more to existence in modern times, what they call him. John would be Asar, John, okay? Cynthia would be Asar, Cynthia. You get the concept? I just ran that to you. Okay, but it is an affirmation and acceptance of one's divine, true, essential nature. You have to acquire that. You have to earn, you have to do work to get that. Not only as an expression of God, but as God in fact. You. Thus, the entire psycho-spiritual journey of your self-discovery, when we come into this physical form, revolves around your discovering that your deeper reality within you is what? The netter. We didn't use God. We used netter. Never in God. So the same thing. We had that concept no time before. And therefore, in ancient Egyptian terms, as related to the book of coming forth by day, which was buried with them, but with all their sayings or hymns, the deeper reality is to what? To be sought is who? Asar. Where is he? In you, we call him Amun, the higher hidden one God. But so you live your life, watch this, see your existence as a journey of what? Discovery of what? Everyone wonder, why am I here with my purpose? The journey. Feel that you have come from a divine source, knowing who you are God, and that as you practice the teaching to learn and find out your true existence, your true self, you are now what? Drawing ever closer, what? To discovering what? The source. Okay? It's to see your entire moment. See your entire life as a ritual. Every day, it's a ritual. Imagine if the son didn't practice his ritual daily. What would happen? Just saying. So when you wake up in the morning, your entire life is a ritual. When you wake up in the morning, reflect on the majesty of that thing I just told you about, the sun. They was worshipful of the sun. Why? Without it, they would be in trouble. They didn't say the son was God. They said only begotten son of God. So they knew it wasn't God. Moving on. The divine. Just as Ani does with his prayers. I do the same thing. When you eat, see this as the what? Offering to who? The divine self you feeding God. Asar, where? Within you. You can't eat the food expecting to get it somewhere else. If you feeding them, he got to be inside you. They knew that concept also well. Watch this. So how do we confuse and all of a sudden don't know where God is? There are essentially three important teachings being imparted in the Pert and Haru. I love this. The first is the message. Remember that? That righteousness leads to what? Spiritual realization. You becoming one with higher spiritual self. The second is that the process of purification is in the actions of righteousness and virtuous daily living. They knew that a long time ago, and it still works to this day. Whether you be Muslim, Christian, or Jew, you do the same thing. What's this? Now, the third message, just important. A lot of people get caught up in the first and the second. They're stuck on that. They think they got something. The third message is next is what? The text and the wisdom about what? The divine. By what? By learning about the nature of the divine. And then what? Acting. Even feeling. And also thinking as the divine. Become the divine. That's the trick. That's the trick. It is finally what? Now possible to what? As humans to become one with the divine. I'm stomping up and down, but I gotta calm down because I'm taking it home now. I'll wind up. This is gonna take it home. The spiritual name. And earning a spiritual name is the essential and the powerful force linking you, the initiate, right thinker, to that what? Spiritual source, aka as well as a consistent reminder of what? The true glory of your true higher self, which is God. If you know that, you know that self, and you know that's the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. But I'll be back with more. And in closing, may you all live to be 100, me, 100 miles a day. So I never know that my right thinkers have passed away. I'll be right back.